Hi, this is Carol chatting, and you may remember me from Hello, Dick Pic and Thoroughly Modern Dick Pic. I'm just so happy to come back from the dead to do this introduction for this podcast. And I wish I could be a guest on this podcast because I can sing about things. I can do whatever you want me to do, as long as it's on Broadway. They should put this podcast on Broadway.
Hey everybody, this is April Walterscheid, and I have a special guest co-host today,
Diana Dinerman.
And you're listening to Please Send Dick Pics. Yes. Could be, you're in LA, right?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
So, it's a pretty good question.
If somebody sends me one, it'll be my first one.
Oh, a dick pic?
Yeah.
Really? Oh. Wow, I feel like I look like someone who's never gotten them, but I've gotten them definitely because of this podcast. Like, I will start by saying I usually wait till the end, but like we get dick pics that are decorated with like emoji googly eyes.
Oh, nice.
And flowers around them and like a bouquet of dicks, you know.
Wow. I have seen the cornucopia of dick.
Have you?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I still don't want to date the person, but I think it's very nice. You know? I think I haven't really gotten any other creative ones, but one guy had his dick with like a sunrise from his window in the background.
Oh, so he's an artist.
And it was like a leaning tower of Dixa. It was kind of... Dixa, yeah. What about a dick pizza? Who wants that? Anyone listening? Okay. Yum. I guess Lorena Bobbitt would want that. Okay, so or Hannibal. Hannibal Lecter eating dicks. Okay, that's just like a really shitty movie that would be in production.
Yeah.
So I want to start out by asking you a really tough question.
Okay,
if you had to describe yourself in 1 to 3 words, what would it be?
Introspective.
Yeah. Okay, good. That was very introspective of you to say. She knew right away. She's very assertively introspective. I like that. I'm going to get my outline up here. I have an outline. So, again, your last name is spelled Dinerman or Dinerman?
It's pronounced Dinerman.
Okay.
Spelled with one N, but pronounced Dinerman.
Wow. What is the background? Is it like
It's Jewish.
It is Jewish. Okay. A mealtime Jewish. What does it mean something in Hebrew? Hebrew?
I thought that in Hebrew, I don't know.
Okay.
But supposedly my grandfather came from the Ukraine. So supposedly Diener, I heard at one point Diener meant blacksmith in Ukrainian, but I don't know that that's true. And our name was changed when they came over, but I don't know the root of it. We have family who spells it with 2 N's instead of 1, but we spell it with 1.
It'd be cool if you actually opened up a diner and just called it Dinerman, but still had it like diner, and they're like, "What the fuck? Like, how do I pronounce this?" But everyone, like,
I know.
in the area,
I have this whole essay that I wrote about how people mispronounce my name all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd that essay go? Did you get an A plus because it's like this is your opinion of yourself, or were they like F? Because like no, you know what
people
I mean?
liked it. I mean, I did it for a reading for a show, and then I put it in my solo show to talk about my Jewish origins and how my name was always really uncomfortable for me because it's like a mouthful of a name, and pretty much nobody ever pronounces it right. Almost nobody, but everyone's like, "Oh, cool name." Did you, is that
in
your
a diner?
Real name? Like,
did you grow up in a
yeah.
diner?
No, I came up with something really glamorous like Diana Dinerman. It's my real name.
You know what I thought when I first saw your name, when I first booked you on here, I was in my mind, sorry, I'm so sorry. In my mind, I was calling you Dinerman.
Yeah, people do that.
Oh, they do? I'm like, it's Diana. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that because Diana is like not a hard name to pronounce. We hear it in pop culture all the time, but there's something about how it's alliterative and it's long and something about the amount of vowels that makes you think that the first name should be different than the last name. I went on and on about this in the essay. I was like, people call me this, people call me that. I made up a name at one point when I was in college because I was like tired of it. Yeah.
You had to be someone else for a while just to accept yourself, I guess.
Just to make it easier. I can get embarrassed by really small things, and I would, when people would mispronounce my name, I was just like so embarrassed, and I don't know why. It's just
a woman thing, right?
Things all the time. I just get so embarrassed, and then so I made up a completely different name that no one could mispronounce. And
was it just like what was it? Samantha Smith? Like what was it?
It was Robin Matthews.
Oh, okay. Well, what about Robin?
Just like, how are you going to mispronounce that? You're not.
I bet you got some Roybins. I don't know. People find a way. People find a way to mispronounce. What was your one-woman show called? I think I read about this, but I don't know if I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Detour, a show about changing your mind.
Oh, that's so great. Was it an hour? Or?
Yeah, it's an hour. It's an hour show. I just did another run of it last.
Oh, that's right. I read on your website you're gonna go somewhere to perform it. I'm sorry, it was I should take notes on that.
It's summer.
Where are you going again? It cut out.
Edinburgh. Oh
my gosh. Now is it Edinburgh or Edinburgh? Okay.
It's Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh my gosh. How do you wow, I hope to be that cool someday. Holy shit. Let's see. Well, I was wondering, where were you born?
I was born in Washington, D.C.
Oh, fancy. Was it fancy? Was it very presidential birth?
No, it was not. It was like the day before Thanksgiving, and my parents were young and dumb. And I was born at Sibley Hospital, and it was probably not very fancy at all because it was, the 70s.
Oh, goodness. You look
the late 70s.
Okay. I'm like mid 80s. Okay. I was like, I'm like, are you saying early 70s? Because you do not look like it.
I just had a facial. Thank you very much.
Oh, you did. Cool. I love facials. But the thing that bothers me about facials is when you get a facial, the person doing the facial's skin isn't perfect. And I'm like, is this going to work on me? Because look at you.
Oh, that's a completely legitimate question to ask. The woman who does mine, and I don't get them very often, but I have to do it. Yeah. Her skin is beautiful. And it is such a good facial. I had really mediocre ones. Most of them are, and also it doesn't really do anything. It just feels good. But this one was like extra special. I treat myself to something extra special, so.
I even had my nose hair taken out, and it feels like someone's pulling on your...
You really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, I've never done that.
Yeah,
Have you had the ears done where you get your ears coned and they take the wax out?
Oh, the wax out. I'm like, what? What was... Well, the moment you were born, did you know you'd be a comedian or a writer at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
No. I knew. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't know.
Some people know.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Let's see what else. What's your favorite childhood memory anywhere? Like wherever you lived, Washington D.C. or?
Wow, I got to be honest and say that I don't have a lot of juries, which is why I'm a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't have a lot of fond childhood memories, but I have things that I loved. I was born in the city, and then we moved, and I grew up in a suburb of DC called Falls Church, Virginia, and what I loved was watching TV. I loved watching TV, but I really loved watching any kind of dancing on television. Those are my favorite things to do when I was a kid, because I was a dancer actually before I was a comedian. That I knew I was going to do when I was really. But man, I used to watch Soul Train on Sundays, and I used to watch Solid Gold, which was wasn't on the air for very long. But oh man, that's one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid, was to watch dancing on television.
Wow, I liked watching ice skating, and then I pretended I knew what to do.
Yeah,
like anything I watched, I wanted to do that for that moment. Then I changed my mind later. But what did you put? Is there dance in your one woman show?
There is, cool. Yes, and I did not want to dance. I was very. I retired. I'm not a professional dancer anymore, and I don't take class. I don't teach anymore. I really don't do anything. But
teaching.
I guess once a dancer, you're kind of always dancer.
Yeah.
And I did study dance for a very long time, so I talked about that in the show. And then there is a monologue that I do about women and feminism, and I dance during the monologue.
That's so cool.
It's a dance monologue about women. It's really fun.
Is it recorded anywhere? I don't know if you.
Not public, but yes,
okay.
it is
you probably.
I'll send you a clip.
Okay, great, cool. Because I wanted to maybe do a 1-person show. I've seen a couple in my life, and kind of inspired to do one, but not really. Like not maybe ready yet. Maybe I started writing a book like years ago, and I stopped. I'm just like, let's live my life.
Yeah, we all do that. We stop. People do that with solo shows too. They start writing it, then they put it down, they come back.
I felt like I was weird for doing that, but I think it's normal, I guess. Progress as you go. I did read some of your birthday, you said, was in November?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the date before Thanksgiving. Whenever Thanksgiving is, some years, I guess, before or after now. But
yeah.
I read your birthday poems on Medium. I just wanted to quote some of my favorite lines.
Okay.
I thought of giving a presentation called Getting Unstuck. And I wanted to ask, is that a real presentation you're planning to give?
Yeah, it's part of my one-woman show, actually.
Okay.
That's probably what it is. It is how I got unstuck. I found myself in a place where I was very stuck and didn't know what to do.
Were you glued to a wall in a canyon?
Yeah, I mean, emotionally, that's how it felt.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I think a lot of us are thinking about progress and expansion and moving forward creatively. Getting stuck is part of the process.
Damn it. Is it? Because I hate it. Oh.
Yeah.
No.
But I changed my relationship to it. And that's part of getting unstuck, is changing the relationship. So, yeah.
Changing how you feel about it, changing like how you see it and stuff, right?
Yeah, how I see it, but also like how I talk to myself during it.
Okay.
Because the whole berating thing and like, just do it doesn't work.
No.
I mean,
no, it doesn't.
Do it when you want to do it. You can't really discipline yourself into being different than you are. Damn. So it turns into more of a listening thing than a let me tell you what you're going to do next. Like you have this internal boss that's like, it doesn't work. So I stopped doing that.
How does anyone survive Hollywood in like the corporate environment of, movies and TV then? I don't even know. Like writing, on the spot and stuff. Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. Just, be creative now. I like your line about I oiled my body with grapeseed, and I do that too with that. Grapeseed's my favorite, like muffin oil for muffins.
You gotta like when you oil the tin,
or put it in if it's blueberry muffins and it calls for oil. It's very it's very bright.
Neutral.
Yeah,
it's a neutral oil.
Yeah, it's a sunny oil. Something like I think it's slight. Avocado's a little less bright. Sunflower, safflower oil are kind of up there. And then another line, it says, I check social media for messages not meant for me. And it made me wonder, do you work for a social media company and the messages are never for you?
No, but it's so, I forgot writing those things and now I remember writing them, but social media is full of messages that aren't meant for me. That's the problem with it, is that all those messages are flying around to God knows who. But I intercept them because I'm a member of the public. So even if I look in the Twitter feed or I'm like, that's a message to someone else, but I'm watching all of this. Like I'm taking all of this information in and none of it is meant for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You just, and things get stuck in your head and you think about, and you compare yourself or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just like, why did I just intercept that? Or when you're watching two people tweet at each other because they're talking or they're building a relationship online. And I'm like, I'm observing these people flirting over Twitter, and now I have all of these.
Sorry, it's cutting out. Well, you're either happy for them or you're just like jealous. You're like, I wish I knew that person or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. That's how I am.
Yeah, or grossed out. I've also been grossed out by it. Like when I've seen two men flirting on Twitter, I'm like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah. I also liked the dress I won't wear. It's an article about you bought a red dress, you get it in the mail, and you're like, well, I don't want to wear this now that like there's a certain president, a Republican president, and the bigotry it represents. I do wear this red coat that I've worn since 2013 because it looks good, and I thought it made me look fun. But I think just this year I thought about that, like, oh, do I look like a Republican? You know, just this year.
Yeah, I never considered that.
It has
but
a whole
the timing of that is so odd.
Yeah, I had
a really strong. It happened right after the election, and I had this really strong reaction to it. So I wrote a piece about that.
It's beautiful. And you talk about your Ukrainian grandpa, who you put a communist flag up in your room, or a communist poster, right? And you're just like, yeah. And then you realize, oh no, maybe that's weird. Like
I didn't know anything about the ideology behind the symbol at all.
Yeah.
I got that at an army surplus store, and I thought it was cool. And like I knew my grandfather had emigrated from the Ukraine, and I put it in my bedroom. And now when I look back at it, I'm like, why did you do that?
Yeah, if you're like 7, it's okay, but if you're like 21, you better take it.
I was 13 or 14, I think, and I was just like, I don't know. I wanted to know who I was. I wanted a connection with something, some kind of identity.
Yeah,
I latched onto that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like if you're in a punk band, that's really cool to have, you know? It's like if you're, I think it's cool to, like if you're in a punk band or you post things you're against, actually, you post it ironically on the wall. You're like, we're not about that, but look at this flag, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I like your article. There's a quote from your article, LAX to Lima. You have a lot of articles where you're just like talking about what's going on at the moment. You know, it says I guess you're on an airplane to Lima from LAX, and it says the 12-year-old at this gate is drinking coffee. And I thought to myself, I definitely drank coffee at my grandma's trailer park when I was younger, just to, like black coffee, just to be cool, you know?
Really?
Yeah. And now I think I have anxiety because of it, but you know, it's all good.
I remember thinking that. Yeah, I was on my way to Peru. I was on my way to Peru. I was on a layover, and I write these observational vignette things.
Yeah,
and I was like, that kid is having coffee, and I never had coffee when I was a kid.
Okay, yeah.
I was impressed, but it's South America. You know, coffee is.
It's probably lighter, or he's a business kid. I don't know.
Yeah, he was on a business trip, probably.
He's all traveling by himself. I think I traveled by myself as a kid, but I had to have like a person from the Southwest Airlines with me. You know, like kind of sitting with me. And,
me too.
But maybe he's on his own.
Kid, they called them. They called us unaccompanied minors when you would fly alone, and then they would the airline, the flight attendant would look after you. That's and they'd have to hand off to a gate attendant and all of that stuff.
That was pretty dope, though. It's like I had like a fake parent for a second. Another one you wrote was planes are just bad restaurants, which I kind of agree. It's very inconvenient.
It's so true.
Can't get to the bathroom when
the
they're
food
serving.
Sucks, uncomfortable. The service is mediocre.
Yeah, they don't expect tips though, right? So that's good.
No.
Thank goodness. Jeez. It's not like a cruise ship where they're expecting a certain amount of tips. You know, you prepay ahead of time. Not that I've been on a cruise. I just heard that.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about a news thing. Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm single. Are you as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yay! I don't know if you want to be, but I like being
No, I
single.
do. I like it.
Okay. I like being, yeah. I was going to go over some Valentine's Day fun questions. Like would you rather? So I found a thing on my phone. I may have asked this on did I ask this on our podcast last year? Oh well. I don't think I did. So it is would you rathers, and they're coming up here. Sorry. So would you rather get a lot of Valentines from people you don't know very well, or just get one from someone who is special to you?
Oh, the latter. If I cared about these things, which I don't, but if I did, I would definitely want someone that mattered to send them to me. Yes. I'm all about quality, not
quantity.
Quantity.
Yeah. It cut out. Sorry, I was just filling in what I think you were saying. Would you rather have bright red skin? Oh, that goes with your article. I don't know. Or, I don't know why it says that. Have bright red skin or have your heart beat loud enough for everyone in the room to hear?
Oh, I'd rather have my heart beat loud.
Loud and proud.
I don't want bright red skin.
Yeah.
Loud and proud.
Because that's, what is that, Harlequin's disease? It's like babies are born with bright red skin. They can't go outside, or I don't know. They look like aliens.
Oh, really?
It's like,
I didn't know that.
Harlequin something. They're born where their skin's always shedding and it's red, and yeah.
Aww.
Oh, just they get mistaken for Republicans, probably.
Yeah.
So, would you rather host a Valentine's Day party or be a guest at one?
Be a guest.
Yeah, it could be like a cool, like Beauty and the Beast situation, you know, like having.
Yeah, because if you're a guest, then you can leave whenever you want. But if you're hosting, you can wait for.
And you'd have to clean up. Ugh. Ugh. Would you rather receive Valentine's in an email or handwritten? I think I know how you're going to answer. Handwritten?
Handwritten.
Yeah.
Handwritten.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not like one of those. What was that? Remember those websites you could send a card. Something Blue Mountain, you can send like an online greeting card.
Oh, yeah.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
They were, I don't know. I like getting handwritten things. That's pretty cool, especially now that we're all on the internet. You know, even if it's a picture of something, if it's a picture of something handwritten, that's pretty cool too, if they couldn't mail it to you. Spend Valentine's Day with your family or spend Valentine's Day with your friends or spend Valentine's Day alone.
Oh, alone. For sure, alone. Just because I don't care. But I like my friends and I like to spend time with them. I would just rather not do it around a fake holiday. I think it's dumb.
Right, just that holiday, yeah. Would you rather get Valentine's Day candy from your teacher when you were in school or get a homework pass from your teacher like, hey, you don't have to do homework.
Dude, homework pass. Yeah. Homework pass all the way.
Yes. That'd be much better. Because I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Was it weird? Would you rather eat heart-shaped dog treats or eat rose petals? It's a silly question.
That's hard because both of them don't sound appetizing, but some dog treats are made of good stuff, like the organic ones are made like peanut butter.
Oatmeal. Yeah.
Yeah, I would eat a dog
banana
treat. I don't really want to eat rose petals.
You might turn into one.
I mean...
One might start growing, and then I have to sell myself.
I don't like a real perfumey flavor.
Okay.
I mean, perfumey is not for me.
So rose boba tea is out of the question. The dog treats. Mm-hmm. So if you got
dog treats.
Dog treats. So rose boba tea is out of the question. I just had rose boba tea. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think I want rose boba tea.
It almost tastes like you're gonna die, but you don't. Let's see what else. Would you rather receive a funny Valentine or a mushy Valentine with, smashed bananas in there? It's so mushy.
I think funny, but what would that even be? I'm trying to imagine. What would be fun?
Jokes that are still mushy because of the poop. I don't know. What else? Okay, let's see. Oh, would you rather this may be up your alley, write a Valentine's Day poem that you had to read to the whole school at an assembly, like in the gym, or design a Valentine's Day poster that is displayed just in the school office?
Is this from my childlike mind or my adult mind?
Well, you can answer both. How would you do it as a child versus now?
As a child, I would rather do the poster that only hung in the office because I was so insecure about anything and everything that I would have wanted the least amount of people to see it. And I would have been mortified to stand in front of the school and do it. Now, these days, I'm terrible at designing things. I'm not a very good visual artist, but I am a writer. So I would much prefer to write something and read it to people because that's one of my favorite things to do.
Read it to kids as an adult or read it to adults as an adult?
Either one.
Okay.
I love to read my writing to people. I think that's fun.
Would you rather, this is a pretty good one, I don't know, receive 100 roses or 100 pieces of chocolate?
Oh, man.
Depends on the chocolate.
I mean, the roses, because that's a gesture and they're beautiful to look at and they'll die. And if I got the 100 pieces of chocolate, I would eat all 100 pieces at once and then I would feel very ill.
I would eat I don't buy things ahead of time because I will eat them all. I have to be very careful with buying I would probably die from eating 100 pieces of chocolate.
Yeah, I would totally do that. So I'm going to take the flowers.
Yeah. This is funny. Get a Valentine's Day kiss from a big slobbery dog or from a big slobbery camel. That's such a weird question.
Oh, man. Well, I've never had one from a camel, so I'm curious.
Yeah. Why
not have a new experience?
Yeah, and it's a new joke, And the camel's like, after the camel kisses you, he's like, please don't write jokes about me. You're like, aha, I'm going to.
Yeah, exactly.
You're interesting, so I have to write a joke about you, camel.
Yeah.
I wonder how long camels lived. Are there still some alive since the Egyptian days? Are they that old? Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
How long do they live?
I don't know. We should look it up.
Yeah, I could say, how long do camels...
Camel lifespan.
Camels live. Let's see. What if it says a year? I'm like, what the fuck? 40 years.
It's longer than that.
40 years. So they're like a...
40, wow.
Like an old grandma. Like a mid-sized grandma.
40 years. 40... That's a long time.
Unless they're milked for industry standards, then they don't live past 5 years. I'm vegan, so I'm really worried about the cows.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk. Oh, do you have, we can go into, I didn't really look at the news this week. I can tell you about my news with the comedy club thing.
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Okay.
What happened?
Basically, I wanted to, I got fired from a comedy club that I just started at a week or two ago. And it's because I won't name the comedy club, but I wanted to open up for this comedian that I really love since 2010 or 2009. And so I kind of I have this email list of people who signed up for my emails to receive comedy show information or whatever I'm doing, send them a sketch I did or something. And I emailed all of them on a MailChimp setup. And I said, I want to open for this comedian. Can you contact the comedy club and her manager and the comedian's manager to have me open? And I would say she probably has room for another opener. But I think if you're set with who you want to open, just maybe one person that you trust, then I get it. But yeah, the comedy club got contacted by a bunch of people. I don't know if it was just a few people doing it multiple times or up to 100 people or 50 or whatever. They contacted the box office. They emailed him a lot, and then I got fired for it.
You got fired for asking if you could open for someone?
Yeah, I have a person acting as my manager for now until I have an actual manager. But yeah, he reached out to them. I don't think they responded. So I just went the route of let me mail my friends and ask them to ask the comedy club that I open for this person. And no, I guess they didn't like it. But I thought I thought that'd be good for ticket sales at least, but maybe not.
That's really odd though. I mean, people ask people to open. They ask, I've directly asked the performer if I can open for them.
Yeah, that might be a better route. I don't know how to do this.
That's usually how you do it if you have a relationship, or even if you don't. I've definitely reached out to people that I saw were having a date, and if I was in town and I was like, hey, can I get up?
Okay.
But if you work for the comedy club and they know you're a comic, because a lot of people are, that's weird to fire someone for that because people ask for that all the time here.
The person said they didn't know I was a comedian, but, I mean, like, my manager reached out to them, so I'm sure they knew.
That's really odd.
I didn't tell them directly, though, but I know my manager reached out, like, at least a few days before I did all that, so. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't know. They said they didn't know. They also said, like, well, it's good to know you have a lot of fans, but we're letting you go. So
I understand why they let you go. I don't understand.
Maybe it's a conflict of interest, is what my mom said. But parents will say anything to explain things and make you feel bad. So
that's so weird. It doesn't work that way here because anybody who works anywhere as a comic, how could it? It's like
especially the comedy store or flappers, or I've definitely seen people I know working there who are comics.
Yeah, that's how that's their life.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I was actually discriminated against or if I caused so much damage to the people there. Like, again, I'm not calling them. It was I didn't know anyone would call them. I thought like 4 people might contact them. Maybe I don't know. It's weird. I think I'm in Phoenix, so I think it's just different. I think we're more conservative, probably slightly. Like, there's a lot of liberals here, but like, I think
it's still Arizona.
It's still an overall more conservative approach, I think, I've noticed.
Yeah.
I love LA a lot more. I could run into trouble there, but, I don't know. I feel like people appreciate if you're making an effort. Out there, I would assume, as long as you're not, like, being mean about it or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe the people contacting the club were mean. I don't know. I don't know what they said, so... Maybe they thought it was American Idol where they're just like calling and like voting or something.
That's really odd.
Yeah. Well, I might ask you for like if you have an email template for or whatever, like how you reach out to performers. Because I know a performer coming up that I actually met him, and I love to like open for him if it's available. So I'll
I don't do anything special. I'm just like if I've met the person I ask, I'm just like, hey, I would really love to do an opening spot for you. Do you have any? Can I? Yeah. And then just risk hearing no. I hear no all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care.
There's a lot of no's. Yes.
Hearing no and like not dissolving into a pile of whatever because you're so humiliated that you were rejected. It's good to just ask.
Yeah. I'm definitely used to rejection with auditions and stuff. Just so much rejection. Like I don't even bother asking guys out because I'm so rejected, by everything else. So
I would never ask a man out.
Yeah, I don't.
Never.
Unless there's like a clear signal or something. One time I did if there was a clear signal. But that's another.
The clear signal is him asking you. That's the only signal.
Well, a lot of the guys
that's
who
my
want to ask me out, the guys who ask me out, I don't like. I feel like.
Of course not.
Yeah. I mean, I've still, like, hung out with them once, but, like, maybe got, like, boba tea and ramen. But, yeah, I feel like definitely the guys I've liked I don't date that much. Maybe every 3 to 7 years I might find the guy I like, I feel like. And, yeah, I'm pretty picky, I guess. I try not to be, but, it's hard.
No, you should be. You should absolutely be picky.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I agree. But the guys, by the way, I was going to go into like the guys I've kind of like gotten a signal from and I've kind of like said, here's my number. I don't know if those guys, one of them, we kind of fell in love or we fell in love. The other guys, not so much. And I wonder if it's like me giving my information out is just like, it's destined to fail or something. The relationship, meaning maybe they didn't really like me because I kind of sort of initiated like a big hint to them. I don't know. That's pretty deep, I guess. Maybe too deep for the podcast.
I don't know. I don't F with it.
Okay.
I just don't. I think dating is retarded, and I just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's
nerve-wracking. I haven't dated that much, but like it's annoying to just even. It's flattering I think it's flattering if I like a guy. If I don't, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I even getting ready? Let's just cancel this. And then I do. Do you have anything in the news you want to talk about?
Well, I looked at some news stuff and, it's chaos as usual. I don't even know what to think or trust anymore. So I was looking at weird news instead. And this guy broke into a lingerie store so that he could throw something at a mannequin that looked like Barack Obama.
Oh wow, who was he? Was he
He was an ill person.
Okay. All right, I get it.
Yeah, I was looking. He smashed this store window and said that he didn't like what Barack Obama was saying to him. And it was like this mannequin, the head and the chest that looked like Barack Obama, and he just started throwing things at it.
Wow. Well,
people are so angry.
Wow. I have no words.
He said the mannequin was talking to him.
Okay.
And he didn't like what it said.
Did it say 4 more years or something? Did it
just
say
like Obama ruined the country and, he's got to pay the damages for the window. I thought that was crazy. Totally crazy.
Was the mannequin shouting register on healthcare.gov a bunch of times? Yeah, and he's like, I'm mentally ill. It didn't work.
It was in New York.
Oh.
Where all the crazies live.
Was it across the street from the Trump Tower?
Didn't say, but I don't think so.
I think the Trump Tower should be a mental illness facility, for the mentally ill. Should turn it into that. That could be cool. To kind of like reparations, for him being president. There's a dog barking because I'm at my parents', if anyone's wondering. Okay. I'm gonna go over. We'll do like celebrity dick of the week in a second. I want to go over some jokes that you have that I like.
Where did you see jokes?
Just on it was like women comedy like YouTube page or something or some sort of.
Oh no! No, you can tell them. Those are so old. I don't even know if I tell those anymore. But tell me what they are.
Oh, okay, something about a melting candle. Like you're into guys who look like, or no. Something you're into guys that are looking like melting candles, or
yeah, because I like older men.
Yeah, okay.
So their bodies are melting, and I'm like, that's cool.
It's like Grandpa Bod.
Yeah, I like a man with no physical confidence.
He's like, what? You looked at me? Yeah,
I just don't even care. I don't care about anybody's body.
That's good. I don't like muscular guys. I like the definitely the guys who have some anxiety a little bit about even looking at me, and that's pretty fun. I'm like, I will ruin you. I'm just kidding, I won't. So, you had an ankle sketch, so ankle sketch, not a comedy sketch, but actual sketch about ankles where a Civil War soldier's dying. Like his girl sends him like a sketch of her ankles. During the Civil War.
My Civil War interpretation of dick pic. Although I had this character that I made up called Nigel, who was a specialist in phallic portraiture.
Oh wow!
And he ran a museum. He ran the Taint Museum.
Oh, nice!
And in the Taint Museum, there were just years and decades of from the first carrier pigeon that took the marbled penis across town to the modern day iPhone dick pic. And I just went through what all the various iterations of the dick pic would be, because I think that'd be a really funny sketch, because there was always a version of that in some way. And I thought, what if we found these buried Civil War tropes and there were these dick daguerreotypes inside the trunk, but they would have had to stay hard really time and capture the image on the flash because it took so long to take a daguerreotype and develop it. I just think that whole idea of a dick daguerreotype is very funny. But I thought that joke about how relationships move too fast and during the war you just had to send letters. So the most salacious thing I could send a Civil War soldier boyfriend would be a picture, a pencil drawing of my ankles.
Yeah, and he's like,
and he'd be like, ooh, it'd be really hot.
I like I like the idea of you going through the different centuries or whatever of what a dick pic. Is that an article? Can you make that an article and then put a bunch of daguerreotypes in the article of each?
That'd be a good idea.
Or a one woman, or it could be the vagina monologues, but it's the old dick monologues.
Yeah, the evolution of the dick pic, because men have been asserting that in various ways. It just so happens that technology has now caught up, and we
And we have this podcast.
It's
cutting out.
Yeah, and I mean, what would that be like if a pigeon had dropped off a marble cast?
Ow. On my head?
It'd be heavy. It'd be really heavy, but...
And men are inconveniencing us again with their big dicks.
Yeah, or like, Monet was drawing...
Lily pad dicks. Somebody had lily pads.
Pointillism. Seurat did like a pointillism penis with his tiny little brush strokes. I don't know.
Tiny brush strokes, not big ones. But how do you get off a dick painting? You gotta use big brush strokes.
Yeah.
I like the Monet thing. I think he does the lily pads in a pond picture, and I think that'd be fun if they're full of dicks, like just dick sticking out. It'd be hard to see though, because he paints so blurry, Yeah. You couldn't tell.
Very blurry. He has very bad eyesight, that guy.
I like your joke about how you said you look like the mistress at a senator's funeral.
I used to, yeah. I was really sporting that look.
The dress. When I dress of some kind.
Special. I used to dress when I worked in a club. I used to dress, and that dress was a performance dress that I used for various different things. But I definitely looked like some sort of senator's freaking mistress in it.
Didn't quite make it to Scandal, but almost.
Almost. Yeah, it would have been perfect.
Yeah. I like it. I like the open back. Let's see. I like how you said your lovemaking style is cooperative.
I forgot about that joke. Yeah, I mean, I don't have. What do you mean? If somebody was like, "What do you like?" What do you mean? What do I like? I like the things that people who have sex like. It's just it's different with everybody. So I thought, I don't know. If I'm doing it, I want to be there. It's just like silly that I don't have a sex style. Like, what's your style? That's like, retarded.
Like, what are you looking for on this Tinder thing? I'm like, I'll know when I see it. Yeah.
I'm very cooperative lover. If I'm naked and I've consented, I'm willing.
Like, if I'm here, it's got to be good enough.
You will find me very cooperative and interested in participating.
If I'm not grossed out by you yet, then, I'm here.
Totally.
I like also... I mean, I accept a lot of guys for who they are. Like, honestly, I think I don't look like it, but I accept a lot of people for who they are, maybe more than I should. My parents get mad at me for it. I don't really care what they think. But so I like how you said that if a date pulls out a Velcro wallet, you're not going home with them because there's no bed frame. And I think that's true.
Oh, dead giveaway.
He's got no bed. It's on the floor.
Yeah, floor. Like, I'm not doing that anymore.
He's got what else? He's got a basketball hoop. He's got like an on the closet. He's got rollerblades.
Yeah.
Rollerblades are fun though. I'm all into that fun stuff. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I still like a guy who has like posters up of like, Weird Al or something. Like, that's fun for me.
Yeah, personality.
Yeah, I guess instead of just like I like a guy who likes comic books, even if I don't know what comic book that is. Like,
yeah,
I read the Berenstain Bears comic book, so.
I dated somebody once who wrote comic books.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really a comic book person, but he was cool.
Yeah, I like a guy who has interests. I like a guy who's not trying to match your interests. He's just interested in what
he's got his own thing going on.
And I think they expect the same thing of a woman. Like, just she has her own interests that are, Actually, I've noticed, I think if I don't get into what a guy's into, he definitely, like, will stop talking to me. But it's usually because I wasn't interested in him, and I was trying to, like, blow him off,
Yeah.
Like, when they message you on, like, Tinder or, like, Bumble, they're like, they try to tell you things, and I'm like, okay, great. You're into that? Cool. Good for you. Those are always my responses. Because I'm like, I don't know you. I don't really care.
How is it relevant to anything in the beginning? It's not. Like, you're not going to break up because he likes comic books and you don't. Or, like, I went out with a guy who was just totally obsessed with Mexican food.
Okay.
And I was like, cool, I don't really care. Like, your interest in Mexican food and my, like, benign interest in Mexican food is not going to be the reason this relationship doesn't work. I'm not sure why this is such a point of interest.
But I think guys, when they're like speed dating through like the dating profiles, I think if they find out you're not interested in the same things they're interested in, I feel like they just stop talking to you. Again, if it was the guy I was interested in, I would be a little shook up a tiny bit. But usually it's like it's the I don't even know really. We never met. It's like the first conversation, but they kind of bail. And I'm like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, we didn't even get to know each other, but I guess, you're not, I'm on another level than you anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to, let's do Celebrity Dick of the Week. I wanted you to guess mine.
Okay, describe it.
So, he is black. It may be human, it may not be. He's black and long, and he's got white spots and long patches of white in strategic places. He was part of, he was a movie in the 90s. He eats fish. If you throw it at him.
He was a movie in the 90s?
What?
He was a movie in the 90s?
He was a movie, yeah. There was a movie about him. Or a fictional adaptation of him, some sort of like possibly fictional story, or based on the truth. And there was like a Netflix movie that came out about him in the past like 5 years. He eats fish, you throw it at him, he lives in the water.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's some kind of bear, like a polar bear, panda.
But you gotta think about his name is kind of like a dick name. It's not Dick or
like Steve.
Oh, it's a dick name. He actually, his name is probably William, but he has like a nickname that's kind of a dickish nickname.
Bill.
Almost, you're getting close. He was
Bob.
the movie. The movie is about like some kid trying to like, I guess, rescue him from SeaWorld. And it's in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh man, what is that? Billy Bob.
You gotta free him.
Man.
You gotta free him.
Willie. You gotta free Willie.
Yeah. What an obscure. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you weren't like, what? The 90s? What's that?
Yeah. I'm glad I figured it out with not very many clues.
No, that was good. Because I think it's different. I am running out of dick things to cover as far as the celebrities, so I just have to get creative. So do you have one? You can go and I'll try to guess. I hope I get it.
Celebrity dick. But his name is not that, but he looks like one.
Okay.
He's super wealthy, and he was just in the paper for an affair that he had, and he runs like one of the biggest companies in the world, and his head looks like a penis.
Don't all
and he has
guys
so much money?
Oh, he has so much money. Well, okay, it's not Trump, is it? Okay.
No,
but he's
like because he's rich and Trump isn't rich, but
true.
He's like the richest guy in America.
Shit. Bezos?
Yeah.
I just try to think of a guy I read on the news who may be questionable.
His head looks like a dick.
Yeah, let me look that up again. Let's see.
Look it up. You're going to be like, whoa.
Isn't Amazon supposed to be a good company? What's up with this? I'm so confused right now. I feel...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How can a company be good? I mean, it does provide good, cool service, but, and it can also be... But it employs thousands of people, and not all of them are good people.
True.
That's not possible.
Yeah, I guess all corporations are technically questionable. Yeah, you're right. His head does look like a penis. I didn't realize.
Looks like
a very shiny, polished penis.
Yeah.
A circumcised penis.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. I'm glad I could even guess that. How long have you been doing comedy?
Long enough. I just quit. No, I'm just kidding.
You're like, I'm retired. I got my pension.
This is my farewell podcast.
Oh my God. You chose this one?
So
great.
sad.
I mean, I don't like that you're leaving, but I'm glad you chose my podcast for something to announce. I'm flattered. I'm very flattered.
Oh,
you said you did, I know you do comedy, but you did theater, which I did as well before I did comedy. And in drama school, or like just like Mesa Community College, I had a teacher who was like just weirded out by me. Like, She'd always tell us that comedy was hard, and I really struggled with drama. I struggled to get in the moment. With comedy, I thought it was easy, but I didn't know it at the time because teachers were always telling me, comedy's hard, guys. You know, they kind of preach it in like every classroom, I feel like.
Yeah, that's because they're not funny.
Yeah, I just feel so confused. And then I get people now, actors who are like, wow, you do comedy? That's so hard. I'm like, you can do anything. It's not
really
hard.
I mean, so many actors are so serious, and they don't really, not all of them have a light sense of humor, but like, I'm a really serious person, and I am pretty like self-reflective, and I'm not a jokey joke comic. You know, I'm definitely a joke writer, but I'm not a playful person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of people think you have to be that way to be a comedian, and that's not true at all. You have to be just completely, just like super, super sensitive, and such an observer. You know, you have to be a professional noticer.
Yeah,
like I just notice things all the time. Yeah. And that's what a lot of the writing, that creative nonfiction that I have on that website is just about noticing.
Yeah.
Like
practicing
noticing things and writing them down, observing things. But I remember, I didn't think in college when I was studying theater, I was super serious. I did not think of myself as funny. And I don't know if other people did or not, but I certainly didn't. Yeah, I was in all the serious stuff. The idea of when people laughed, it was usually because I was being serious and there was something funny about me. I was never trying to be funny.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I felt like that too. And it is weird if people start noticing you're funny. I kind of like get egotistical about it if I know that I'm funny. I try not to go that direction, you know?
Yeah.
I like how you said professional noticer. I'm writing that down on my phone. Because it's true. You have to have your eyes open to stuff you don't want to see sometimes, too. But I was going to say, what plays were you in? I was in Death of a Salesman. I was in, like, some of the typical ones. But the ones that were, like, the serious ones where someone took a serious play, like Hamlet. And then I think it was Tom Stoppard that wrote, like, a different perspective on Hamlet. I like those because they were funny. And then I also like Christopher Durang plays. I don't know if you read those.
Yeah. Yep.
So good.
I read a whole bunch of that stuff. I read all the classics. I was in August Strindberg's Ghost Sonata, which is like such a weird, serious play by this Swedish depressive playwright.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Ghost Sonata.
August Strindberg's The Ghost Sonata. I was the lead in this play called The Swan.
Oh, wow.
Which was written by, I think it's Elizabeth Engelbert, and I had to play a woman who rescues this swan who turns into a man.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a 3-person play, and I had to make out with both of the people in the play.
Like, for real, that's hard. If I don't like a person,
stage,
it's so hard.
Gross.
Okay,
it's super
stage.
And yeah, I had to kiss everybody. And that play was really hard. It was really serious, and it was surreal. It was kind of a surrealist play, but the person who directed it like it was realism, so it was sort of odd.
Oh.
And then I'm trying to think what other plays I was in. I was in plays when I was in high school. I was in The Wizard of Oz. I was Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, you look like her. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was the waitress in Studs Terkel's Working, which is about working class stuff. And I'm trying to think if I was in any other plays in college. It's kind of a blur.
Those sounds like some cool ones.
Yeah, lots of scene study. I mean, lots of that, but all drama. I don't remember being in any comedies or even I never even thought I was funny.
I wanted to be taken seriously, I think. I wanted to be like this beautiful actress who's like...
Oh, yeah. That's totally...
You and I are probably more like Lucille Ball, where she tried to be this beautiful actress, and she was in a lot of cool things, but it just wasn't her strong suit, I guess.
Or just there's something funny. You can be serious, but there's something funny about your way.
Always, yeah. Constantly.
And then it reads comedically, even when you're serious.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that, and I was like, all right, doesn't matter what the fuck I do, it's going to be kind of funny or really funny. So
yeah.
Yeah, I can't say anything. Do you ever get people on Facebook who, like, I like joking on Facebook, like writing one-liners, but sometimes if I really need help on Facebook, someone's like, ha ha ha, they don't help you. They just reply with I had after getting fired from the comedy club, I had to go into work early the next day, and no big deal, but I didn't have time to, like, make tea or get anything. And I was like, can someone drop off a matcha green tea? Like, no one did, but I usually have, like, I have, like, one friend who would. They're really nice, but if they're available, but I just kind of posted, I'm like, after yesterday, like, I would love a matcha green tea delivered to my work. I work at I gave the address. And people would comment, like, like I feel like guys do it mostly. They kind of comment with, like, they don't pay attention to what you wrote. They just comment, like, I tried those once, and I'm willing to try it again. I go, that's not my question.
Also, it was sort of irreverent. What you were doing is playful and fun, and they were taking it seriously.
I mean, if they're gonna take it seriously, deliver a matcha green tea.
Yeah, they wouldn't. That's what's so weird. That's how men are not funny. Like, they just don't get. They don't get it.
They don't. Yeah, it's like almost like maybe he thought I was trying to ask. Maybe he responded in a way like, let's go together, but he didn't say that. And I'm like, I'm not interested in getting that with you. Sorry. But no offense if you're listening right now. But I don't know. I think guys are always, like, thinking of themselves. And they're like, well, if I do this for her, what's she going to do for me? I'm like, I'm going to pay you back in cash. I'm not going to do anything else. So
drop off that tea. You can expect
a PayPal payment or Venmo.
$3.67.
Maybe $1 or $2 for tips. So
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
It's fair.
But yeah, I feel like they would just comment, or if I need help with, like, something serious, people are like, ha ha ha, that's so funny. And I'm like, this is a serious post. What do I do? I think it goes back to the thing that we talked about where it's like, everything is funny. Everything you or I say is probably just funnier.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of annoying though, but it's good overall in the big picture. Do you do any impressions? Can you do, like, a Judy Garland impression or anything? Or of your family?
That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
I can do some voices. I don't do a very good impression of anyone in my family, but I wish I were better at impressions. Let's see. I'm not the best impressionist. I did sing a little bit like Judy Garland.
Oh, cool.
Like that, I have that 40s singing voice if I try.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to do it right now?
Yeah, song. We need a song.
I've got rhythm.
It's a good.
It's cutting out. Sorry.
I've got rhythm. I've got my man who could ask for anything more. Yeah, that's enough.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. I just, like, all last year I was doing Judy. I mean, I liked Judy Garland since I was a kid in the 90s when I watched Wizard of Oz.
In green pastures.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like this thick sound that comes out.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I love, all of her songs were sad. You didn't want her singing a happy song because it didn't go with her voice, I guess. That's probably the happiest song is I Got Rhythm. I think that she probably sang. I want to say.
Yeah, most of her songs were sad. I mean, she was a very sad person. She had so much longing and pain.
Mm-hmm. I know she joked about it when she got older. She joked about how, sorry, there's dogs barking. By the way, I got these chips from my dad, if you're wondering. I'm eating chips.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're those late July jalapeno chips. If you're wondering why I'm suddenly eating chips, my dad walked in and handed chips off to me.
That's nice.
It's so nice. Otherwise, we don't always get along. So,
yeah.
Judy Garland, her daughter said that, Liza, I know she has 2 daughters. Liza said that, like, one time there was a magazine coming over to interview them and their house looked really clean. And she's like, they're not going to like this. Let's mess up the place, make it look like she's struggling, put trash on the floor, like put pills out, put a knife out, like whatever. Like, she's like, I don't want them seeing that I'm, like, happy, Like, I don't know if she was fully sad all the time, but she had to play to that. I mean, there was times she was sad probably because of the pills and stuff.
Yeah, but she was a sad actress. I mean, every actress is sort of sad, all of them. And that's interesting, though, that she staged a scene. I could see that. They're like, they want
me a certain way to live up to a certain thing. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like everything she was in was about her. It's weird because she would say these words, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh, Summer Stock may have been another happier one that she did, but she was not feeling it. She was starting to get late to set by that time. But I was gonna say, I forgot what I was gonna say about her. Her name. I think it's interesting that her name was Frances Bean when she was born, so not even Judy Garland. And I feel like she's kind of like a female Sinatra, and Sinatra's like a male version of Judy because both are named Frances. It's spelled differently. One's an E, one's an I. But their names are Frances. Yeah. They both could have been Frank.
There's a joke in that, for sure.
Mm-hmm. My joke so far about jazz is that I feel like jazz singers get Sinatra and all of them and like Dean Martin made a lot of money off of songs other people wrote or already sang. You know, I feel like they made money off cover songs that were arranged differently.
Totally. It was like they made money off their personality because the song was already written. They just had to interpret it through their filter.
It made me wonder if comedians could do the same thing one day, like one day in the future.
Well, that's what's so unique and different about what we do is because we're chasing the original thought.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and even we will back away from a premise that's overdone, even if we have something different to say about it. But mostly it's like, a lot of people are talking about, so for example, Tinder. People have all these jokes about Tinder. Done. Because, so now we go, well, if you're going to talk about it, you should have a completely separate take on it that nobody's ever heard before, or else there's pointless because the topic has been beaten to death. Like we have squeezed that lemon.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it left. So comedians really work for, that's why point of view is so important, is because there's only one you.
Yeah. Wherever you're from and stuff.
Yeah. The more specific you are, the better.
Yeah, that's true. Like, the joke that's definitely beaten to death is, like, I just lost 120 pounds. Yeah, it was my girlfriend. I hear that one. So
God, yeah. Or,
like, new comics, I feel like, use that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of broad, and that's not even, I mean, that's a one-liner. It's a misdirect that's no longer surprising.
Yeah, it's a reverse, but it's not surprising anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to end the podcast soon, and I hate to. I'm so sorry. But where do you want to be in comedy? Like, do you want to continue doing stand-up, write for a sitcom, be on a sitcom? Where do you see yourself? In a musical sitcom comedy or...
No, I see myself. That's I mean, it's not a bad question. I don't have an answer for it. This is what's interesting in my life right now is that like the more competent I become, the less specific about my output I am.
Yeah.
So especially because I've been working on this hour-length solo show and then I do comedy, during the week. In between, I go up and do my set, whatever. I'm thinking about larger pieces of work that aren't just driven by comedy. And so now I am so interested in point of view and voice, and I don't care as much about the genre where that voice lives. Mm-hmm. So I feel like in the beginning of your career, you're trying to find where you're slotted. Like, where do I fit in? Like, where's a good place for me to end up? Which is a very external way to think about it. Instead of, okay, these are the ideas, these are the skills, what vision do they best serve? Mm-hmm. And so now it's like, I see myself continuing to do stand-up. I see myself doing probably another kind of show. And I see myself doing more acting and writing for television down the road.
Yeah.
I see that. But it's pretty like out there, far away.
It could happen sooner. You don't know when, but it could happen sooner.
Yeah, I don't know when. It's just so much to do with your visibility and like who sees you when and the people you start to work with.
How they see you sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't control how they see you. You can only try to. It's just like, but sometimes it gets you out of yourself to try to control that. You know, you get out of your
I think it's self. To think less about the result and more about just developing and getting better at being yourself in front of people. Because that is like the hardest thing to do is just be authentically yourself consistently.
Yeah, and I like impressions a lot, so I started doing stand-up as other people, and then I did stand-up as myself, and I was so scared to do it, but I did try.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like being other people so much better. I don't know.
It's a completely different genre to work in.
Yeah.
You know, but like being yourself and then working from your own ideas and point of view, it's a different way to work. I mean, I have a friend like that, and she does stand-up as characters, not herself.
Is it why did she say? Did she ever tell you why she does it? I wonder.
I think it just comes naturally to her that way. Yeah. Like that's where your impulses are, and you have to follow your impulse.
True. I want to do more stand-up. Now I'm getting away from the characters. I do the characters for this podcast. I do like different voices for each intro of the podcast. But now I want to, like for stand-up, I want to go back into characters. So I'm trying to sneak those in again, you know, and make it flow, I guess. What is your social media?
My social media is my Instagram, my gram, I think is DL Dinerman. Yeah, it's DL Dinerman with one N. That's me on Instagram. My Twitter is D Dinerman, but I don't do much on it. And my Facebook, I have a page that is Diana Dinerman Comedian.
Okay, I think I saw that.
It's like D Dinerman or something like that. And you can like it and catch me there. And I announce things that I'm doing. And you can go to my website, which is dianadinerman.com, if you want to see a list of things that's goings-ons.
Yeah, your website's cute, and I like it. I like the picture. So.
Oh, thanks.
It's like vulnerable, but it is a little comedic, so I like it.
Yeah, we called that derailed in an aspirational way.
Yeah, it looks like that. Exactly how you said it. I was going to say if there's anything else. Is there any advice you got that was just like? Is there any hilarious advice you've gotten for writing or comedy or theater that you thought was hilarious?
Oh man, is there hilarious? First of all advice is shit.
Parents are a good example. Don't
take any of it.
It's true.
Literally, people give you advice based out of their own insecurities 9 out of times. Like, it's very, very rare.
They're like, don't do that because I failed at that once. But they, like, skip that part. They're like, don't do that because I failed at that. You know.
It's so bad. The best piece of advice that I have ever gotten has been, keep going.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's very annoying advice, though, because bark, bark, bark. Sorry, guys listening, but, or ladies or whoever. I did, after a comedy show one time, I definitely had some guy who was there to support his friend doing comedy. He kind of just put me aside. He's like, keep going. And I go, thank you. And he's like, hit up more of these open mics. I go, I have been for 3 years. And I just left because he kept saying, keep going. And I'm like, okay.
You only need to hear it once.
What'd you say? Yeah, I'm only doing it once. He thought I mean, he doesn't know that I keep doing it, but it was good advice, but I'm like, why do you keep telling me that? I need to go. Like, I need to get out of this space where this person is, you know. I got to move to another part of the room. I'm like, I know. I keep going. Shut up.
It's very rare that someone goes, you know what you should do, and then gives you an answer that makes sense.
True.
I mean, almost nobody here, you should, unless it's just like, you should do more of what you're doing. Or, I could totally see you doing that. But nobody's actually given me any practical, actionable advice about my career ever that was helpful. Not once.
I think the coolest advice I got was Conan's monologue writer. I've talked with him a couple times. I know him okay, not like super well, but I told him what I was interested in doing. And then he gave advice based on that, which was really helpful. He just said, if you're into...
Well, that's helpful.
Yeah. So that was very
Because
good.
it wasn't unsolicited.
No, and he wasn't trying to push something on me, so that was good. He's very very zen. He seems very level-headed, or just, you know.
Is it Brian?
Ryan Kiley, yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very great. Well, any last words? I don't want it to end, but any last words?
It's fun.
Keep going.
Did it.
It's cutting out, sorry.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going. With a bunch of G's and O's. Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And our emails, please send dickpics@gmail.com. Send whatever. I'm really desperate for just anything that you send
We
me.
need some kind of stimuli.
Yeah. It could be like anything. It doesn't have to be a dick pic. Yeah. It could be just telling you, like, you can just vent to me about your day or something.
Yeah.
But our emails, please send dickpics@gmail.com. And remember to, please send dick pics.
Please send dick pics. I missed the cue.
It's okay. It's we're doing this over the phone on Facebook, so, you know, it's hard to miss. You can't get it in, you know, in the dark. It's in the dark.
Sometimes you miss, and you just get the tip.
You just get the tip. You just kind of miss. You just try to find the hole in the clit or whatever, if you're a guy or whoever you are listening.
Yeah, whatever you're looking for.
Whatever you're into. Bye, guys.
Bye.